We begin tonight with President Rodrigo Duterte working to appease some members of the Moro National Liberation Front following some rumblings on the composition of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority. Maricel Halili with the story.
President Rodrigo Duterte had a brief meeting with Moro National Liberation Front Chairman Nur Misuari in Malacañang on Monday evening. This is after the president mentioned during his speech at the Liga ng mga Barangay Assembly that there are rumblings in the MNLF.
Rumblings about the MNLF. Sabi nga namin noon come and join. But Misuari is going out and I have ordered the military and the police. May kaso siya. Allow him to, he will come back.
The president did not elaborate on his statement, but it can be recalled that some MNLF personalities have complained about the small representation of their group in the 80-man Bangsamoro Transition Authority. The members of BTA took oath before the president in Malacañang last week. This body will lead the transition from Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao to BARM or Bangsamoro Autonomous Region for Muslim Mindanao. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo quoted Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process Carlito Galvez in defending the decision of the president.
Per General Valdez, there has been an equitable distribution of representation in that authority.
The president's meeting with Misuari lasted for about 15 minutes. Panelo said the president did most of the talking.
The president told the chairman that he admired his patience and he apologized for not having implemented or enforced or whatever agreements that they had previously with respect, I think, to federalism or something.
President Duterte earlier asked the police and military not to arrest Misuari. Misuari is facing graft and malversation cases before the Sandigan Bayan due to alleged overpriced educational materials that were purchased during his term as ARMM governor. But Panelo clarified that the president's directive is not in contrary with the decision of the court.
The courts have allowed the former, or rather the MNLF chairman, to travel to OIC, to attend the OIC conference. There is a permission granted by the courts. Sandigan Bayan specifically.
The president has been very vocal in his desire to have an acceptable agreement with the MNLF led by Misuari to ensure peace in the Bangsamoro region. Earlier today, outgoing ARMM Regional Director Mujib Hataman formally turned over his leadership over the region to BARM Interim Chief Minister Alhaj Murad Ibrahim. For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
The main concern of the MNLF with the BARMM is the composition of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority or the BTA, which will govern until 2022. Under the Bangsamoro Basic Law, the 80-member BTA will be formed with the following composition. 41 BTA members will come from the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, 39 will be appointed by Malacañang, and the palace appointments will include members of the Moro National Liberation Front, the Lumad sector, youth, and women's groups. So the majority of the BTA will be MILF. A number of MNLF members were thus complaining even during the oath-taking. They're asking why they have less representation when they claim that it was the MNLF that started the Moro rebel movement. Of the 21 people endorsed by the MNLF, only 5 were appointed by the president. MNLF Vice Chairman Firdausi Abbas reportedly threatened to put up a new rebel splinter group in protest. Such a threat is not to be taken lightly, as Abbas is recognized as a sultan in Lanao and he belongs to one of the oldest political clans in Mindanao. We talked to Muslimin Sema, member of the MNLF Central Committee and immediate past chairman of the group. Sema explained there are actually not 5 but 12 MNLF members in the BTA. The MNLF also agreed to let the MILF take over the Bangsamoro government as stated by the law. Sema added they will talk to the group of Abbas to defuse tensions. But splinter groups are nothing new in the Moro movement. In 1979, Salamat Hashim broke away from Misuari precisely to establish the MILF. In 2008, MILF Commander Umbracato left to establish the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters in Maguindanao. Misuari also has problems of his own. In 2001, his generals rebelled against him. Misuari was expelled by the MNLF Executive Council of 15, composed of MNLF Chief of Staff Yusuf Jikiri and MNLF Secretary General Muslimin Sema. The group claims loss of trust and confidence in Misuari. So Sema and Jikiri's group, meanwhile, is now facing the departure of Firdausi Abbas. For now, there are three factions in the MNLF. These are the MNLF Executive Council that is included in the Bangsamoro government, the MNLF faction of Misuari that does not want to be involved in the Bangsamoro region, and what is called the Islamic Command Council. These are the complications that the new autonomous region, the autonomous government rather, need to face.